Hey guys, what's going on? This is Charles at OpenSourceMarketer, and in this video, I'm going to walk you through using the Thrive Visual Editor. If you're not familiar with it, it's basically a replacement for the default WordPress editor that comes with for creating content for your pages and posts on your WordPress site. So basically, to install it, you just go to Add New, click on Add New, then go up to Upload. And then you'll want to choose the location where the zip file is located. So once you buy the product, you download it, you put it in your download folder on your desktop, wherever you keep your files. You'll just choose that file, zip file, and click Install. After it's installed, it'll prompt you to activate. You just click on the Activate button and you're good to go. After that, you'll want to come into your settings and go to Thrive Content Builder, and it will ask you for your email address and your license. You go over to the Thrive site, get that information, put it in here, activate your license, and you're good to go. Once you've got it installed, what you can do is you can go and add either a new post or a new page. Now, let's go and add a new post, and I will show you how it works. So essentially, we're going to come in here, and we're going to just create a dummy post. We'll save a draft so that we create a database entry, and we've got a post ready to edit. And then you click on the Edit using Thrive Content Builder. So this is basically the Thrive Visual Editor that we're going to fire up and use. Normally you would come down here and put content into your WordPress space, which I will actually do. So basically this is going to be some text that's down here in the default WordPress editor space, right? And I'm doing that for a very specific purpose. I want to show you that the content that lives here in the default WordPress editor is a little bit different than the content that lives in this Thrive Content Builder. And you'll see that in just a second. So let's just click this. Now, the genius part about Thrive Visual Editor is that it brings you to a visual representation of what you are creating. Does that make sense? I mean, what we're talking about is not having to go and create things top down. Right, be able to just put content in, put images in, put maybe some embed codes and stuff like that, and have just this linear top-down sort of flow of things. We want to be able to put in, like, buttons and boxes and all kind of pretties that we can use to control the layout of our site. So what the visual editor does is it brings us over here and says, hey, look this, you can actually see what your page is going to look like as you edit it. So the first thing you'll notice is over here on the right hand side there are a bunch of options. So what we're going to do in order to demonstrate the product here is we're going to go in and create a 3-column layout. So what I did there is you can either drag it onto the page where you want it, or I just said, okay, I just wanted to click because I knew it was going to be the only thing that's going to show up on the page, so I knew it would show up where I wanted it. But if I wanted to drag and drop another one someplace else, I could say I want it here, or I want it here. So you can just drag and drop those things. The other thing that you can do is you can come in here and say, okay, I want to add a content box style 2, and I want to put it in here in column 1. So right out of the chute, we are able to create a pre-formatted content box where we have a heading and a content area. And then I could say, you know what, I want to put a button, so I'm just going to drag that button down here. I want to put a button here. I want it to be small. I want it to be full width. I don't like the color of it, so I want it to be green. And you know what? This whole content box thing, it needs to be gray. So I can change that on the fly really, really easily. The other thing that I can do is I can get rid of it if I don't want it, or I can duplicate that entire box, which is still in column 1 here, and I can grab it and I can drag it up to column 2. So now I have pre-built it all over here, and now I just duplicate it and drag it over there, which makes it really simple to get things done instead of worrying about all the CSS and HTML and all the business, right? And in the old school editor, you can only do like top-down type of stuff, right? Remember that you're going to put in you're going to put in some text, and you're going to add some images. So if we wanted to add an image, we could say, hey, we're going to put this image in there. We're going to insert that into our post, and see, it's all like on top of each other. There's no real way to lay things out. It's just kind of like that's what you get. So let me just hit save on that. And so then what we're going to do is we'll go back over here where we were, and we're going to, let me hit save changes. We'll just save the changes, and I will actually refresh the page. So yeah, we're going to reload the page, and you'll see there's the stuff that I created in the default editor, and here's the stuff that I created in the Thrive visual editor. So a big difference. The other thing that you'll want to take note of, though, is that these two are completely separate. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, as you see here, I can mouse over this. I can edit all these different elements of this, the visual piece. But in the old school content editor, I can't edit it. Even though I am in the Thrive visual editor right now, I can't edit this old school WordPress piece. So as you're going through, as you're creating content, you'll kind of want to make a decision as to whether you want to live inside here, inside the Thrive content builder, or you'll want to live inside the old school WordPress. Now, if you want to, you could live in a mixture of those, right? You could mix and match, so you could have this stuff here and you could have this stuff here. That's fine, but just know that they're going to be managed in two separate areas. So it's kind of up to you. I would say a better idea would be to take and do things like create, like let's say if I wanted to do everything in the visual editor, in the Thrive visual editor, I would just go and grab a, let's see, a paragraph here, and I would bring that in, and then I might take this content from the old school WordPress editor there, kind of pop it in, and then I might actually take and add an image. I clicked it. Silly me. You can either click or you can drag. I could have drug it onto the page, or I could click it, and so I clicked it. So let's just say I wanted to add that same image. Come over here, select it. Now it's on the page, right? Kind of like this was. If I wanted to, I could actually drag this up a bit, get a little closer to my stuff. Okay. And so then, see, I can't edit this, but I can edit this. So, you know, again, you kind of want to decide whether or not you want to live, which space do you want to live in. All right, so let's just save the changes. Now, the one thing that I will say that was a little confusing to me at first was, I've got all this stuff on the screen. I can see it, and then I can preview it. So here I am without all the stuff on the right-hand side. I'm just kind of looking at the page, how it would look naturally, and I'm like, hey, this looks good, great. Now let me go and edit the post. Oh, where'd all my stuff go? Well, remember, everything that's old school WordPress editor is down here. Everything that is Thrive Content Builder or Thrive Content Editor is here under this button. So if I click on that again, boom, I'm back to all that visual stuff that I had, plus all the old school WordPress stuff that I had. So just keep that in mind. It may look to you like, hey, that didn't save, but it did. It's just there underneath that button, so to speak. So I'm going to leave this page, and go back, just kind of get down. And you'll get this button right here, this confirm navigation, like you're navigating away from the page, like you haven't saved all your changes. And that kind of leads to the confusion, because once you go over here, you're like, oh, I didn't save my changes. But like I said just a second ago, just remember it's either here or it's here. Now, one of the things that I ran into when I was installing the plugin and trying to get it to work properly was that there were some conflicts with my theme. So what I mean by that? Well, when I first installed it and I was putting things on the page, I couldn't remove things. These little red X's weren't showing up, and I was having kind of a difficulty getting things to work properly. And what I discovered was that it was my theme. And I know that because I first went and deactivated all the plugins. Like I said, this is kind of a test bed site. I had 50 plugins installed. I went in and I deactivated every plugin except for the Thrive Visual Editor. And the problem did not go away. So I knew it was not my plugins. There was not a conflict going on with the plugins. So I went into my themes, and I had the Atawopa theme installed, which I've used and loved that theme in the past, but it doesn't support mobile responsive, so I've actually moved on to other themes. But like I said, this is kind of a test site, so it still had the theme installed. That was causing problems. So what I did was I moved over to the 2012 theme, just to test things out to see if that would make a change, and it did. So essentially, this site right now is running on the default WordPress 2012 theme, and the plugin, the Thrive Visual Editor plugin, works just fine. So if you run into any issues and you think that it might be your plugins or it might be your themes, then that would be a good place to start. I will say, if you're going to do any kind of major construction to a production site, the best thing to do is to back everything up, do a complete backup of your website before before you start messing with things. A good plugin for that is Xcloner. What you'll want to do is make sure that you have Xcloner installed. It's a cloning tool, basically clones your site, backs it up so that you can restore it if you need to later. Once you've got it installed, just go into your plugins, go to Xcloner, log in. They put admin as the login. And what this will do is it basically will generate a backup of your site, and it will back up all your database files, it'll back up all your WordPress files, and it'll back up your database. And so you'll have a complete copy of your WordPress, so that if you need to restore, you can. But for the most part, I hope you can see the value of that Thrive content builder or content editor. It's a pretty snazzy plugin, and I will be making additional videos as we go along to try to show you how things work with it. My next video, I'm actually going to use the plugin in conjunction with the Divi theme from Elegant Themes, because they have their own page builder, and I just want to kind of show a comparison between the two. So look for that in the next video. All right, if you have any questions, post them below. Leave your comments, thumbs up, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.